Hi guys, so yes, we have just had WWE Money in the Bank 2022. Yeah, it's just finished here in the UK. Of course, I stayed up late to watch it. It's like what is the time? It's 4:15 in the morning here in the UK. I can hear the birds tweeting outside. It's getting light, but I'm knackered. But I thought I might as well just do it while it's still fresh in my head. So yes, just watched Money in the Bank. God blimey, what a crazy show. On the whole, though, I will say it was pretty good show. Lots of surprises, lots of good results, and some not so good results, which I'll get to. So the match which kicked off the show was the women's Money in the Bank ladder match, and it wasn't great, was it? I don't think it was quite as good as maybe the previous last few women's Money in the Bank ladder matches. It was a bit sloppy from some women. I think some of the spots didn't quite connect. There was a few sloppy looking spots. Some people missed or botched a few moves. Shotzi Blackheart had a bit of a stinker in the corner. She botched like this ladder spot, and then she tried to hit like this throw on Alexa Bliss, and it looked like it connected badly. So it wasn't great. It just didn't quite connect fully. One of my other problems with Money in the Bank ladder matches is the fact that I said this in previous. It's like the women all hang around, and all the wrestlers, they all hang around outside the ring waiting for their next spot, and they're just gone for like 5-10 minutes. Like, you can see them like that waiting to come back in the ring, and it kind of ruins the illusion of the storyline, the kayfabe and all that. And then when they clout the lad, like, they're just trying to reach it, and it doesn't work. But yeah, it was fine. And then it was a fine Money in the Bank ladder match. And then let's get towards the ending. The winner, after a very brief struggle, yes, the winner, she fights on top of the ladder. I don't know who against. I don't even remember who it was. But yes, Liv Morgan grabs the... Oh yeah, it was Becky. I think Becky falls down, and Liv Morgan grabs the briefcase. Good for Liv Morgan. I did originally pick Liv Morgan, but I changed it to Becky Lynch when she got announced. But yeah, good for Liv Morgan. I think she was one of the favourites, and I think it was her time to get that briefcase. So good for her. And we'll get back to Liv Morgan later on in the show. But yeah, she was great. And a massive pop from the crowd, and you deserve it and all that. Yeah, so I was thinking, okay, yeah, I look forward to seeing Liv cash in on Bianca at SummerSlam. That's what I thought they were going to do. Oh boy, was I wrong. So on to the next match, which was Austin Theory and Bobby Lashley. Better than I thought it was going to be. Considering Bobby Lashley's got quite a slow style, Austin Theory's still a bit unproven. But yeah, this was a very solid match. Austin Theory did very well. Bobby Lashley did very well. And it was a good clash of styles. And Bobby Lashley's power versus Austin Theory's speed and technique and heel techniques and all that. But it was a good match, And Austin Theory, I thought at one point he came very close to winning. He hit a spear on Lashley, then he hit his finisher, and looked like he was going to win. But I think Lashley kicked out, and it was a very close match. I thought Lashley would dominate it, but he did for a bit of it. But Theory got back on, but it became more even towards the second half of the match. And then towards the end, Lashley got a big counter, and he hit the full Nelson on Theory, and Theory taps out. Yeah, and Lashley wins the US title. Wow. Yeah, I did predict Bobby Lashley, but I thought maybe John Cena would come out and cost Theory the match, like with the distraction. But no, it's a clean loss for Theory. Okay. But we'll get on to Theory more towards the main event. Oh my goodness! But yeah, it's a clean win for Bobby Lashley, and he's back as the US champion. And hopefully he has a good reign, because Bobby Lashley's last reign with the US belt was probably one of the better reigns with the US belt the last few years. So yeah, hopefully Bobby Lashley can go on to have a very solid reign. We will see who he'll face at SummerSlam, maybe AJ Styles or something like that. So yeah, good for Bobby. And I'll get on to Theory later on in the video, because we're not done talking about Theory. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. The next match was, I think it was the Usos. No, it wasn't the Usos, sorry. It was Bianca Belair defending the Raw Women's Championship up against Carmella, a match I just did not care about. And they tried their best to make it look important, like with Carmella, and the match was fine. It was a fine match, but it was just a match that shouldn't be on a pay-per-view. And Carmella got a bit of offense in, a bit, but Bianca dominated most of the match, and then the match wasn't even that long. I don't even think it went 10 minutes. And then Bianca at the end, big KOD, 1, 2, 3. So yeah, Bianca retains, as we all knew she would. She wasn't losing to Carmella, was she? But then at the end, Carmella attacks Bianca, like, this isn't over, and they're both taunting each other, and she's acting all cocky, and like, Carmella, you lost, what are you acting all cocky for? So, whatever, I hope this is the end of the feud, and then maybe we can get a fresh opponent and a fresh feud for Bianca heading into SummerSlam. Fingers crossed. Then, next up, we got what I think was probably match of the night, without a doubt, match of the night, yes. We got the Usos versus the Street Profits. Woo-hoo-hoo. This was amazing. This was like 15-20 minutes of incredible tag team wrestling. I knew this would be a really good match because Usos and Street Profits, two of the best tag teams in the company right now, if you don't count the New Day. They're so talented, these two teams. But we knew they were going to have amazing chemistry in the ring. I think they've had other matches previously. This was a really good tag team match. It had everything. It had the close falls, had the hot tag moves, and all four members. They had such good chemistry. It reminded me of the New Day and the Usos' amazing tag team feud a few years back. This was really good. There was several "this is awesome" chants. There was several moments I was like, oh, when I thought the Street Profits had nearly won it. At 2 points there was very close kickouts, but then note towards the end, the excuse me, sorry about that. I've been talking to Callum for like 4 hours, so my throat's a bit croaky. So yeah, an amazing match. But then towards the end, the Usos hit the 1D on one of the Street Profits. I've forgotten which one it was, to retain. But really, really, really good match. But then towards the end, they showed there was a cheeky roll up from one of the Usos. They lifted up Montez Ford's shoulder, so his shoulder wasn't on the mat, and like they felt they've been cheated, and there was booze and all that. So I think they're setting up a rematch maybe at SummerSlam, and if there's going to be a rematch, I'm down, because this was an amazing match, and I think I want to see it again. I want to see part 2 at SummerSlam, because this was one of the best tag team matches I've seen in years. Really good match, and I really want to see a part 2 at SummerSlam, probably where the Street Profits, I think, will win. Yeah, and then the Usos' year-long reign as champs. So we will see what happens at SummerSlam, but I really want to see a rematch at SummerSlam, because I think this it was great, really, really good. Then following up that match, we had Ronda Rousey defending the Smackdown Women's Championship up against Natalya. And yeah, this wasn't very good. It was fine. It was but the problem is, Natalya kind of dominated most of the match. I mean, this is Ronda Rousey, and we already think Natalya's like an inferior opponent for her. And Ronda gets dominated for most of the match. Like, Natalya works over with all the submission spots, and she's trying frustrating Ronda. And I was like, bloody hell! This isn't making Ronda look good at all. And then Ronda just gets some offense in eventually. She tries to hit her own sharpshooter. She tries to hit her own submission spots, but the crowd were just dead. They weren't really responsive. I think they were also drained from the amazing tag team match with Street Profits and Usos. So yeah, and then towards the end, Ronda gets out of a sharpshooter, and then how does she even win? I can't remember. It was that forgettable. I think she hits some sort of weird submission, weird weak-looking submission, and Natalya taps out. She doesn't hit an armbar, and I was just like, it was like a wet fart. It was like, well, that's it. So yeah, Ronda retains. Yeah, not great. But the big talking point. So yeah, Ronda does retain, but she's a bit hurt from the match with Natalya, because Natalya focused on her arm. I'm thinking, yeah, okay, that was an okay match. But then Liv Morgan's theme hits, and I'm like, oh my god, what? Liv Morgan's theme hits, Liv Morgan comes running out with the briefcase, and I'm like, okay. And she cashes in. She cashes in the briefcase, just like Alexa Bliss and Bayley. She's now the third woman to cash it in on the same night. And I was like, oh my god, is she actually... But then I got worried, oh no, it's going to be a failed cashing. So are they going to have Ronda lose? And so yeah, they start the match, but then Ronda gets Liv Morgan in a submission, and I'm like, oh god, oh no. But then Liv counters it, and she rolls up Ronda. 1, 2, 3! I couldn't believe it. Liv Morgan is the new SmackDown Women's Champion. Oh my god, this completely shocked me. I had no idea Liv Morgan was going to cash in on Ronda Rousey. I thought Ronda Rousey was going to hold that SmackDown Women's Championship for several more months. I mean, she only won it at WrestleMania Backlash. This was her first pay-per-view defense, and she gets cashed in on and loses the belt. Wow, I did not see that coming. So credit to WWE. That caught me by surprise, and I did not see that coming. And Liv Morgan is the new SmackDown Women's Champion. Wow, that Did not see that coming. I was shocked. I'm really happy for Liv Morgan because she's deserved this. It's been a long time coming for her to win her first women's championship. So I'm really happy for her. And after the match, Ronda just shook her hand, gave her a hug, and walked off. So is Ronda taking some time off? Maybe, yeah, but I don't know. I really thought Ronda would have a longer run with the SmackDown Women's Championship, though. Like I said, she only won it 2 months ago, a Backlash. And she loses it after her first defence. She gets cashed in on. I really thought Liv Morgan was going to cash in on Bianca at SummerSlam, but no. But wow, credit to WWE, they didn't see that coming. That shocked me. So well done, well done, Liv Morgan. It's her first women's championship. But I'm still shocked. I can't believe she cashed in on Ronda, and she won. I thought when Ronda had her in the submission, Liv was going to tap out, and it would be the first women's failed cash-in because all the previous women's Money in the Bank cash-ins have been successful, but I thought, but no, she rolled up, pinned Ronda. Maybe there'll be a rematch at SummerSlam, but I don't think maybe Ronda's going to take some time off now. But what are they going to do with Ronda now? I have no idea. We'll see what way they go for SummerSlam. But yeah, Liv Morgan, SmackDown Women's Champion, big thumbs up and very happy for her. Then on to the main event, yes, the men's Money in the Bank ladder match. Yes, so they all come out, all 7 competitors. Then it's about to start, and then I've forgotten what he's called. The official, I completely forgot what he's called. He comes out and says there's been an extra member added, and I'm like, is it John Cena? Oh, is it John Cena, the Fiend? And no, Austin Theory's music hits, and I'm like, are you kidding me? Austin Theory? So obviously this is like kayfabe because he's Vince's golden boy. He's Vince's boy. So I'm like, oh no. So yeah, Austin Theory comes out despite losing his US title earlier on in the show. And I'm like, he's going to win, isn't he? He's going to win. And then all my excitement for this match got taken away because I just knew that Austin Theory's a last-minute replacement. So they've worked some shenanigans backstage, despite the fact he didn't have a qualifying match. He's just suddenly in the match, like they did with Brock Lesnar 3 years ago at Money in the Bank. He's just been added in last minute. I'm like, just because he's Vince's golden boy, so he gets a free pass. I'm like, so yeah, the match gets started, and it is a really good Money in the Bank ladder match. I will say, it was great. It was 20-25 minutes of just great. It was significantly better than the women's Money in the Bank ladder match, in my opinion, and it was great. It almost looked really good. I've got to give Omos credit. He's improving. Now, I haven't been a big fan of his the last few months, but he's definitely improving. He looked great in this match. He hit some big spots. There was a big table spot where he got put through the table where they all had to hold him up. That was great. All the men had this time to shine this match. Drew looked strong. Sheamus looked strong. Drew had it won at one point, but then fucking Butch came out and stopped him from getting the briefcase. Sheamus looked great. Riddle hit an amazing RKO on Seth off one of the ladders. Bam! That was great. Madcap Moss took a nasty bump on the back of his head from a ladder spot. Sami Zayn took some bumps. Who else was in the match? I think that's everyone, isn't it? I've definitely missed someone out. So Seth Rollins, he looked very good. You know, he hit a cool looking curb stomp every now and then. I thought Seth was going to win it. And then towards the end, when they're all clambering up the ladder, but then it's the final two. I think it's Riddle and Theory, and they're both clambering up the ladder. Like, who's going to win it? Riddle falls down, and Theory unhooks the briefcase. And I'm like, oh, so yeah, Austin Theory wins the Money in the Bank briefcase, despite the fact he wasn't in the match. He just got added in at the very beginning of the match. And how do I feel? Pretty underwhelmed. You know, I really thought it was going to be Seth Rollins or Drew. I think they were the two favourites, Seth Rollins or Drew. But the fact that it was Theory, yeah, I get it. They're pushing him as the future of the company. But for him to just be added in at the very last second and then just gets put into the match, it's kind of a spit in the face to all the men who worked really hard to qualify to get into that match in the storyline. I know, in kayfabe. And so yeah, Austin Theory is the men's Money in the Bank winner. A bit underwhelming, you know, but we'll see. What's he going to do? Is he going to try and cash in on Roman at SummerSlam? And successfully? Is he going to cash in on Roman or Drew? Clash of the Castle? Will it be a successful cash-in? Will Austin Theory success? I can't see Austin Theory successfully cashing in on Roman. I just can't. But if they are pushing him as the next face of the company, then he may successfully cash in. I don't know. It's setting up a very interesting next few months, isn't it? We'll see what happens at SummerSlam or Clash of the Castle, or further. Maybe a Theory doesn't cash in at either of those shows, but we'll see where they're going to go with this now. With Theory as Mr. Money in the Bank. Yeah, I much would have preferred Seth Rollins or anyone really. Just I do get what they're doing here. They're using that Theory has all these perks backstage because he's Vince's golden boy. He can just get put into the Money in the Bank ladder match and he wins it. Yeah, so and he took a selfie with it afterwards. So so overall, it was a really solid show. Really, really good show. The tag team match was fantastic. One of the best tag team matches I've seen. Liv Morgan, she was great. Winning the Money in the Bank, cashing in on Ronda, that was great. Austin Theory and Bobby Lashley was a very solid match. And the men's Money in the Bank ladder match was really good, apart from just the finish with Theory winning it. The only negatives really were Ronda and Natalya wasn't particularly great. The women's Money in the Bank match wasn't that good. Bianca and Carmella was just very, very forgettable. And yeah, Theory winning the briefcase at the end was just a bit of a okay, I guess, but I really would have preferred Seth or Drew. But we'll see. We'll see where this goes. I don't hate it, but I'm willing to see where they're going to play this now on the Raw now. The Raws heading to SummerSlam. We'll see where this goes. Will Theory successfully cash in on Roman? That's the big question now. Oh God, can you imagine Theory with both those belts? Oh my goodness. We'll see what happens, guys. We will see what happens. But overall, really good show. I'm going to get some sleep now because I'm knackered. So thank you all for watching, guys. Hope you all enjoyed Money in the Bank. And I'll be back in a few days' time with some more videos. And obviously the build towards SummerSlam now towards the end of July on the 30th of July. So yes, thank you for watching, guys. And I'll see you all very soon. Bye.